If I'm not mistaken, Jobst sent you to von Berkhoff with a message. How did that go?
In a word, badly.
Oh, how's that?
I hardly know where to start. I'm lucky to be alive. In any case, neither von Berkhoff nor the League of Lords are planning to join Jobst.
Good God. I need a drink now. But did you manage to deliver the message in the end?
Yes, but it was touch and go.
I like exciting stories.
Well, you'll love this one then. Apart from being ambushed and almost killed, Capon ended up on the gallows for poaching.
A nobleman? On the gallows for poaching?
Well, he looked more like a tramp than a nobleman at the time. He really did have a noose round his neck, though. But it all worked out in the end.
Good gracious. But tell me, who ambushed you?
Well, that's interesting as well. Istvan Toth and some others.
What? That sneaky rat from Talmberg? He's still alive?
Not anymore.
You? Well done. Let's drink to that.
Death to the enemy.
What happened next?
Von Berkhoff was attacked around the same time by the same men, so we thought we were on the same side as him. And we wanted to help him catch the bandits as a goodwill gesture.
Why didn't he catch them himself?
He tried. We found out for him that the bandits were holed up at Nabokov. When he sent his soldiers to their lair, we went with them. We wanted to be there and get Istvan.
And that's where you killed him?
No. We were nearly killed ourselves. Again.
By Istvan?
No, he wasn't there. The bandits were led by a fellow who fucked us right up, and von Berkhoff's entire force, too. He lured us into a trap and slaughtered everyone. Me and Capon were the only survivors.
It sounds like your guardian angel never gets a moment's rest.
Yeah, there was some luck in it. But it was more that Zizka knew he could get a ransom for Capon.
Wait, Zizka? He's the one who almost killed you.
You know him?
Of course I do. Zizka is in the service of Prokop of Luxembourg, King Wenceslas's cousin.
Aye, we found that out as well.
And what the hell was Istvan Toth doing with him?
It turned out he was spying for von Berkhoff. But he didn't do a great job, fortunately. Otherwise I wouldn't be here.
I am starting to get confused.
That makes two of us. Maybe we'll understand better if we get drunk.
You're not holding back, I see. Your health, then. After Zizka took us prisoner, it finally became clear we were on the same side, and Istvan had to flee.
So when did you kill that bastard?
Not till some time later. Just when we thought we were out of the woods and Istvan was gone, he appeared outside the walls of Nabokov again, with von Berkhoff and Markvart von Aulitz. Von Aulitz was on his way to Kuttenberg with reinforcements for Sigismund. And with the finger of God.
With the what?
A bombard.
Good Lord!
Have you ever seen one? I hadn't, until they used it against us.
I've heard about the bombard. An infernal weapon. Then what?
We didn't have a chance. They blew the tower to pieces and took us all prisoner. They took us to Trotsky and tortured us. But with the help of a woman who works with Zizka, we managed to escape.
Zizka. That man always has a trick or two in reserve.
Thank God. While we were making our escape, I crossed paths with Toth, and finally took my revenge for everything he did.
Dull moment with you, I see. To happy endings, then. And where is Lord Capon? Or should I call him the Prince of Poachers?
Well, the most fitting thing to call him would be hostage, because that's what he is now.
A hostage?
That's right. Von Berkhoff took him with him. And that's why I'm here, in fact.
Your original plan went badly awry, I must say.
You can say that again.
For my part, I'm forced into hiding, as you've probably noticed. They're after me as if I owed taxes. Ah, if only I knew what Jobst would say.
I know exactly what he'd say as it happens.
You do?
I spoke to Jobst just after we arrived at Suchdal. He expressly forbade me to look for you, or try to rescue k-hunk.
That damned... Did he say why?
Aye. He said you can look after yourself. And as a nobleman, k-hunk has nothing to fear in captivity.
Ah, Jobst.
I must admit, I see his point. He has plans. He wants to take advantage of the truce while it lasts. And he doesn't want to provoke Sigismund into starting warring again. And he's probably right about k-hunk. Nobody's going to throw away the chance of a fat ransom, or waste a nice opportunity for blackmail.
It's true I can take care of myself, but the old schemer could at least have warned me, whatever his plans might be.
Zizka sees Jobst as a pain in the arse, too. I mean, he's not fond of him. And he doesn't approve of his plan.
Then I expect he and I will see eye to eye. Although I prefer a different strategy to braining all and sundry with a mace. Even so, what brings you to me? You didn't take this risk just to tell me what Jobst is like, or that I should carry on with what I'm doing.
No. My first concern is to rescue Lord k-hunk, whatever schemes Jobst is dreaming up.
And then...
And also, it's about your safety.
My safety?
You know, they tortured us. Zizka, Godwin and me. They asked about Jobst's plans and about you. I'd have held out, but Godwin... He told them where you were.
Where I am? In this city, you mean? That's not such a terrible betrayal. Kuttenberg is a big city. It's like looking for a needle in a haystack.
Not that they have not tried. They almost caught you a couple of times. If it were not for my people.
That's true, of course. But I'm not going to bear a grudge. The executioner always gets what he wants. And if he hadn't, we wouldn't be talking right now.
Thank you. You don't know how much it means to me.
Don't worry your head over it. If I was tortured, I'd tell them everything I knew before the iron was hot.
Well, thanks.
But I'd regret it as well. I don't like pain, that's all. Nevertheless, let's turn the page. k-hunk. How do you plan to free him?
That's exactly why I came to see you.
Oh, how's that?
Because you move in certain circles.
And...
You conspire. You hear all the rumors.
So?
So you might know where they're holding him.
Sigismund confiscated the property of some burghers and noblemen in the city when they opposed him, and he divided the property up between his loyal followers. He seized Malyshoff Fortress from the Rutards, for instance. And didn't you say, Sam, that he gifted it to von Berkoff?
Yes, that is so.
That was before von Berkoff was in these parts. But if he's here now, where else would he be but in Malyshoff? And if von Berkoff is there...
That's where his captive will be.
Correct. k-hunk is at Malyshoff Fortress.
Well, it'll be tougher than I thought, but that can't be helped. I'm gonna have to get him out of there somehow.
I admire your keenness, but...
But that is the most insane idea I've heard so far today.
You can't just launch an assault on Malyshoff. It's a strong fortress. We'll need a cunning plan.
Or long ladders and lots of men. That could be arranged, maybe.
Careful! Jobst ordered us not to stir up trouble. And this would be serious trouble. But if k-hunk simply vanished...
Vanished how, exactly?
I don't know yet. But like I said, Malyshoff belonged to the Rutards. And I'm sure they're not keen on the new tenant. I think if you pay a visit to Sir Kunslin Rutard and convince him you have common interests, he'll be happy to think up a solution with you.
Like what?
Who knows? Perhaps Lord Rutard knows of a back door into his old home. and he might not be averse to an arrangement with someone who'll help him take revenge.
Someone like you.
Well, I wouldn't get my hopes up. But it's the best we've got, and there's no harm in trying. Where can I find this Kunzlin?
Sigismund seized his fortress, but, surprisingly, he let him keep his palace in the city. It's right next to the Italian court.
All right. I'll give it a go.
Once you have some news, you know where to find me. Is there anything you want to know before you go?
Come to think of it, I've no idea where we actually are.
Of course. I'd forgotten how you got here.
We're in the Jewish quarter, in the basement of the King Solomon Tavern, below my tavern. Goyim do not just wander in here, but I will tell my people you are with us.
Thanks a whole lot. All right. I'll set off now.
Good luck. It was good to see you again, Henry. And be careful. There's bound to be spies swarming around the palace. This city isn't safe.
Tell me about it. Danger is my daily bread these days.
I have not changed my answer. I will not sell you the rights to my mines. Not today, not tomorrow, nor in 100 years. You will not get your hands on my silver.
You forget I have influential friends. If you won't sell the mines, you'll lose them. Just like Malashov. Along with your life, if you defy me.
Mind your step. Two can play that game. Did you really think that I didn't know you were stealing the royal silver, eh? When your self-proclaimed king finds that out, your head will be on the chopping block.
Seize that traitor!
Not another step.
You'll get yours too, turtle dove. What are you waiting for? Can't you see? They're threatening the Royal Mint Master!
Damn. They gave me a going over. Good thing you showed up, lad.
You all right, sir? Looks like you took some hits.
It's just a scratch.
Papa! My God! You're hurt!
I'm all right. What the hell was that, Rosa?
I saved your life. Didn't you notice?
We would have been in the right if you hadn't taken the shot. Now we have the blood of the king's men on our hands. Do you have any idea what this means?
Was I supposed to let one of Sigismund's lackeys insult us in our own home?
And you thought this was a better solution?
You know what? Let's just leave it be. I don't want to argue in front of the young man here. Apologies for the mess, stranger. There aren't usually so many corpses strewn about our courtyard.
I should be the one apologizing. Some of it is my handiwork.
It won't be your concern, though. I promise. We'll call the guards and tell them what happened. That Ulrich Vavak and his men attacked us for no reason.
You think that will make them let us off the hook?
Not for free. But knowing young Plimo, the commander of the guard, I'm sure he won't refuse my coin. But back to you, lad. Who are you? And why have you graced us with your visit?
I'm Henry of Scalitz, squire to Lord Capon of Perkstein.
Pleased to meet you. Conslin Routard. And this feisty creature here is my daughter Rosa.
Like father, like daughter.
Why did your master send you to me, Henry?
He didn't, sir. Unfortunately, he's in enemy captivity.
We're sorry to hear that.
But I plan to rescue him. And I believe you can help me with that.
We can? How?
Lord Capon is held at Malashov.
Our Malashov? I don't envy him. I was planning on fixing the roof before they took it from us. It's full of leaks. I doubt its new master will lift a finger to do anything about it. But tell me, why would I meddle in matters that don't concern me?
It's your noble duty to help me.
I know of no such duty. I have no ties to Lord Capon's family.
Except for his squire saving your neck just now.
I suppose you're right. But to get involved in something as dangerous as freeing a captured nobleman in a territory conquered by Sigismund?
We have to do something to help. I know it's dangerous.
Dangerous? It's madness. What if somebody finds out?
Nobody will know.
You haven't been in Kuttenberg for long, have you? The walls have ears here. I'd only end up with my head on the chopping block. And I don't even want to think about what they'd do to Rosa.
That's true. As long as Vavak's breathing down our necks, we have to be careful.
Who is he, anyway?
Ulrich Vavak von Neuhaus. The new mint master appointed by Sigismund himself. He's had it in for us ever since he took over the office. He's been pressuring me to hand over my mining rights. It seems he'd like to see me reduced to a beggar. And now we've killed his men. The king's men. I'll have to reach deep into my pocket to get out of that. Like Rosa said, lad, as long as Vavak is around, my hands are tied. I'm sorry.
Then let's get rid of Vavak. He must have some weakness, right?
There may be one. It's obvious Vavak is getting richer than his office warrants. There are rumors going around that he's stealing the king's silver. He even uses it to mint counterfeit groschen, using a fake dye. If Sigismund were to find out, he'd have him executed at once, regardless of his noble blood.
But you need evidence to make such an accusation, right?
Exactly.
But how do we find it?
Some of the silver goes missing somewhere along the way to the mint, and we have to find out where.
Find out? But how? They don't let just anyone into the mines and smelting works.
You're right. Only authorized people are allowed in. Fortunately, we have an ally, my friend Peter of Pisek. They ousted him from the Mintmaster's office, but his brother Christian remained in the Italian court. He wanted to become the Mintmaster himself, but because of Vavak, he had to settle for the steward's office. He hates him even more than we do on account of it.
And that's saying something.
Christian and I were just talking about his suspicions. He'd welcome any dirt you can dig up on Vavak, just as much as I would. If you go to him and ask for help on my behalf, I'm sure he'll accommodate you. I'll help you free Lord Capon in exchange for evidence of Vavak's fraud. That's fair, isn't it?
All right. It's a deal. I've already met Peter of Pisek, and I know he can be trusted. Let's hope the same goes for his brother.
Excellent. You'll find Christian in Horshan, at the estate near the mines. Tell him the password, Via Argentum, the pot of silver. He'll know who he's dealing with. But be careful, both of you. This is our last chance to stop Vavak.
We'll be praying for you.
You're Christian of Pisek?
I am? What do you need?
Kunzlin Ruthard sent me about Via Argentum.
I see. But I'm afraid I don't have good news for Sir Kunzling. I haven't made much progress regarding the matter we discussed. I just don't have the time to investigate. I'm always needed somewhere, and there's always someone following me around.
Well, that's why I'm here. I'll help you with your investigation.
Excellent. You'd be pulling a thorn from my side. What's your name?
Henry.
All right. Listen up, Henry. Nobody can know I'm looking into it. It's a very dangerous game, but hopefully I don't need to tell you that.
Lord Ruthard mentioned something of the sort.
Excellent. Excellent. You don't happen to come from a family of miners or smelters, do you?
My father was a blacksmith.
It's a fine craft. But it won't teach you much about silver mining and processing. I'll be happy to tell you everything you need to know. Now, follow me, please. We need to talk somewhere in private.
Where should I start looking?
Straight to the point. I like that. We know for a fact the silver must be getting lost somewhere on its way to the mint. That means it would be best to discreetly inspect all operations and find out where the problem is. First of all, you should ask miners from every shift how many corves they mine in a day. After that, we'll compare the numbers to the mine record books and see.
But the yields aren't the same every day, right?
True. That's why we have to focus on one particular day. For example, the other day, on the Feast of St. Petronilla, Foreman Fett was beaming and bragging to me about how much it helped. Mined out.
So, I'm supposed to ask about the Feast of St. Petronilla?
It was just a few days ago. I reckon it'll be fresh in their memory. Nevertheless, the miners are a strange bunch. They might not be very forthcoming at first, and they have an odd way of speaking. Like, calling each other Sonny, however old they are. But you'll hear for yourself. You should pretend to be really interested in them, and maybe they'll open up to you. You could be a scholar writing a treatise on silver mining, or perhaps a nobleman interested in buying a mine. Or just say I'm your distant uncle who's initiating you into the ins and outs of my job. It's up to you.
I reckon I could pose as a curious scholar.
Suit yourself. Just don't change your story so you don't arouse suspicion. But to the point, each day 3 shifts work in the shaft. Each has its foreman, or gaffer, as they say. The first shift is led by Frank, the second by Paul, and the third by Samko. You'll have to ask each one of them how many corves they mine. Samko's hewers should be off work now. You'll find the other 2 shifts in the mine. Take this, so the guards will let you in. It's a letter of safe conduct bearing my seal, allowing you free movement within the mine.
And what are you gonna do?
I'll return to the estate to do my job. What else? I reckon they must be wondering where I am by now. Once you find out how many corves the 3 shifts mined on the Feast of St. Petronilla, return to me. We'll compare that number to the entry in the mine book. And don't forget, don't draw attention.
Who owns the silver that's mined here?
All the silver in the Kingdom of Bohemia belongs to the king, whether it's above ground or still below it. Though I'm sure you understand, the king has a lot on his mind, and he can't be expected to worry about mining, so he leases out the mining rights to his tenants. It's called the Burgergeld. There's a lot of money in it. The tenants have to pay the king, and the king also receives a share of the pure silver from the smelting works. That's the royal tithe.
Can any silver get lost?
It can. And unfortunately, it does happen. It may be a capital offense, but even that won't deter everyone. Most often, a pitman tries to smuggle pieces of ore under his clothes. It doesn't end well. Nevertheless, the entire path of the silver, from the ore beneath the ground to minted coins, is closely guarded. Every step is recorded in the books, so if someone is stealing large quantities, they must have it pretty damn well figured out.
Who checks the royal share?
The royal mint master and his subordinates are responsible for collecting the royal share. That also means me and the shaft foreman. That is why every step of the path of silver is monitored and recorded, starting with how much ore is mined. The smelting works owners don't have to be monitored as closely, since they buy the ore from us. It's in their best interest to get the highest possible yield after deducting the royal share.
Who owns the mines?
The king grants mining rights to his loyal subjects, and these leaseholders can rent out their privileges to other people. All sorts of people operate mines in Kuttenberg. Nobility, rich burghers, even the monastery. In fact, anyone with enough money to pay for new shafts to be dug can share in the proceeds.
Who's responsible for the mines?
The mines and the mint are supervised directly by the royal mint master, Ulrich Vervark von Neuhaus. As the steward, I'm his direct subordinate. I oversee that everything runs smoothly on his behalf. Then come the chief foreman, then the other foreman, and finally the ordinary pitmen in the shafts. But I don't come in contact with them very often. We follow the path of silver until the moment an ore merchant buys the ore from us and takes it to a smelter.
How much do the mines pay to the king?
That depends on whether it's a royal mine or a mine in the hands of a mining guild, meaning the leaseholders.
I thought all mines were owned by the king.
That's right. But it's much more profitable for the king to grant mining rights to rich mine operators. They bear the cost of mining themselves and pay him a share. The king receives 1/3 of the profits from his own mines, but only 1/5 from the leaseholders. That's how he gets what's his from all the mining.
What about the other 2/3 of the profits from the king's mines?
Those go towards the costs, of course. For operations, wages, and shaft security.
Who's responsible for the smelting works?
They have their own owners. They buy ore from us and smelt it into pure silver. Then, They deduct the royal tithe, and they can sell the rest. And not just silver. Processing the ore yields a variety of other materials that can be sold just as well.
What happens in the smelting works?
Each smelting shop has a stamp mill, a roasting pit, and a smelting furnace. The stamp mill is used to crush the ore into smaller pieces to make it easier to process. After that, the crushed ore is roasted in a roasting pit to remove most of the impurities. Finally, everything is smelted in a furnace to separate the pure silver from the slag.
So it's processed similarly to steel for smithing?
Yes, but in steelmaking, you don't have to weigh and record every step thrice.
How are groschen made from the silver?
The royal share from the smelting works goes to the mint in the Italian court. There, the coiners hammer it out into silver sheets for cutting the coin blanks. Then, in the Italian court's preghouse, our minters cut out and punch new groschen.
How many mints are there in total?
Only the main one is left, the one in the Italian court. There used to be more of them throughout the kingdom. But King Wenceslas II united them all. It was he who contributed the most to the rise of the Prague groschen and the wealth of this region. And of course, his own wealth too.
By the way, I've had the honour of meeting your brother, Peter.
Well, well. Small world.
He was a great help to us at Sukhdol.
Even though we had some disagreements, I respect him for everything he succeeded in doing. If it weren't for him, I'd never have been able to do what I do.